MrTransforce96 here with another end of the year video. This time I'm going to be doing my top 5 least favorite Marvel Legends figures of the year. So I did make a top 8 favorite Marvel Legends figures of the year, and now this is my top 5 least favorite figures. I decided not to do just a overall least favorite figures this year, just because I couldn't really come up with too many, and the list would be dominated by Marvel Legends, I would say. So I decided just to make the specific to Marvel Legends, and yeah, so you know, there was some great Marvel Legends this year, but there were also some very disappointing ones. Of course, this is just my own opinions. If you enjoyed something on this list, you know, that's perfectly fine. It's just my personal opinions, and it might be based off of other figures that I have and things like that. As far as which figures I bought this year, I bought almost every single Marvel Legends figure. I bought every Marvel Legends figure from every actual wave. There was like that Toys R Us 3-pack that I didn't get. That might be like the only Marvel Legends figure I didn't get this year, but so I do, you know, did get quite a few of them, and therefore I've got quite a few choices. There were some disappointing ones, so let's get started. At 5th place we have Whirlwind. This is an example of a pretty boring figure. It's a pretty standard body sculpt. The only thing really real unique about it is the head sculpt, how it's the helmet, and then the buzzsaws on the arms. But everything is just so plain. I mean, there was such an opportunity to do something really cool. Because of this guy's powers, he can like spin around like a Tasmanian devil. You could have added some sort of interchangeable leg effect. You could have made this guy like a Build-A-Figure and really gone crazy with it. There could be more aggressive buzzsaws. Instead, he has these little tiny ones, you know, that really just suck. There's just no paint on them. They're just a plain silver, and well, they're not even silver. They're actually more like a grayish. And this figure was just super boring. While it could have been pretty cool, I have to say, but this wave, just in general that he was in, seemed to be the epitome of laziness from Hasbro. Next up, in 4th place, we have Eel from the Abomination wave. This figure was actually one that I was looking forward to. I thought it would be pretty cool. You know, I knew it was going to be a standard body sculpt, but I like obscure villains. This one looked like a neat one. The paint looked really cool. Getting it in person, though, was quite disappointing. The paint from the production images to the final release is completely different. They went with a completely different shade of purple and blue, which just makes it look really just cheesy because they went with very dull versions of those colors. It's disappointing that he doesn't come with interchangeable hands if you don't want him shooting the electricity, and then this entire figure is a repaint. I mean, the entire thing is a repaint of Blizzard, and then the hands are a repaint of Electro. So nothing special here. I thought it would be kind of neat, but it turned out just to be really disappointing. 3rd place has to go to Jean from the Juggernaut wave. This figure was not impressive whatsoever. I thought it would be pretty nice, but getting it in person, it really was the weakest link of this wave for sure. The body sculpt that they chose to go with is like that Hellcat sculpt, which I'm not a fan of because with the wedge heels and the way that the legs are pointed, it really makes her difficult to stand. I've had a lot of trouble having her stand and keeping her standing from and not, you know, falling over. And then I think that the face sculpt is really weak. Definitely the face itself is not good. I really don't like it. The hair is great, but the face really lets it down. Could have been a nice figure, but just really, you know, poorly executed. At 2nd place, we have Mockingbird from the Onslaught wave. This was I was going to say disappointing figure, but it's really not. I really had no expectations for it, and getting it, it didn't impress me whatsoever. It does seem to have quite a few new parts on it, or at least parts that I can't identify specifically to anybody else, but just it wasn't a fun figure. I think that the biggest problem with it is the head sculpt in general. I think that the face is pretty weak, especially the way that the goggles are on. Her eyes are very much far apart. It looks very odd, and then I think the hair is just as plain as can be. I think the Marvel Legends this year has done a terrific job on the hair sculpts of women, this not being one of those though. This is a very plain hair sculpt, and then there's just no paint in the hair sculpt whatsoever. It's just a solid kind of light blonde, but there's no shading or highlighting in it whatsoever. Gives it a really plain look, and then she comes with the, you know, the same type of accessories like Deadpool or Daredevil comes with. Really nothing special, but I wasn't expecting to be special. And actually, I don't think I've picked this thing up since I got it the first day I got it, actually. 1st place, my least favorite Marvel Legends figure of the year has to go to this Captain America Wolf Cap, whatever it is, from the Onslaught wave. This was just the epitome of what I didn't want, basically. We get so many Captain America waves, which I'm fine with, it's just like the Spider-Man waves, but I really dislike it when they give us just the same type of Captain America in each wave. It's so annoying, because I usually buy the waves to get the Build-A-Figure, so I really am stuck with just buying like another version of Captain America, and usually they don't change him like this. There's just like nothing different in this. I've got like 6 of these, I could care less. The only thing that's new about it is this wolf Captain America head sculpt from like one comic, I think. And it's just ridiculous. I have no need or use for it. The only reason I keep the Wolverine or the wolf head on it is because then it makes it different from another, from the other 6,000 Captain Americas in my collection. So really could care less about this figure. I bought it solely for the Build-A-Figure piece, and I can't stand when waves do this. At least with the Abomination wave that came out several months after, they used a really different sculpt for Captain America. Like a new costume, and then they gave us like a new accessory for Captain America, like the throwing the shield thing. They tried to make it different. This one, they didn't try to make it different at all. They threw in an extra stupid head sculpt and hope that you'd buy, the 5,000 Captain America that they've done in the last 2 years or so. Really disappointing. Hated this Marvel Legends figure. So there's my list of the top 5 most disappointing Marvel Legends figures of the year. Yes, these figures are quite terrible, and for those specific reasons, just in my personal opinions. There were some others that, would possibly make it on this list. There was a lot of Marvel Legends that were just kind of plain this year, but there was also a ton that were really great. This year was, I'd say, overall a pretty good year for Marvel Legends, and I'm even more excited to see what they'll do next year. So although they stumbled this year, hopefully next year they will just make more improvements. Thanks so much for watching.